Meteorologist Stevie D. The time now is 4:30 on this Monday morning. Let's take a look at your full forecast because we have a lot to talk about. It is certainly looking like a winter wonderland out there. The good news is that the storm system, the nor'easter, tracked a little bit more offshore and it was actually increasing in speed. So we actually had to lower snowfall totals. So we didn't see as much snow as we expected, which is very good news. I know a lot of folks are excited about that. The National Weather Service is already dialing back on winter weather advisories, no longer dealing with any advisories across the area this morning, and winter storm warnings no longer in effect for Carroll County and for spots farther southwest. This graphic is just taking a little bit more time to update, but still encountering blizzard warnings from Queen Anne's County all the way down through Talbot and Caroline, because they are still dealing with not only that blowing snow, but also those strong wind gusts are really helping to kick a lot of that snow around, reducing visibilities to less than a half mile. Here's a glance at snowfall totals so far as of 3 o'clock this morning. Reisterstown picked up about 4.5 inches. Graysonville along the eastern shore, 4 inches. Timonium just under 3. Crofton at 2. And at BWI a little bit under 2 inches of snow. Here's the latest scan from radar. It shows that this snow is already starting to diminish right around Baltimore County. For us here in Towson, down through the metro, dealing with dry skies at the moment all the way through Anne Arundel County. It's still lingering across the eastern shore, up and down the eastern shore from Cecil down towards Talbot and Caroline. And that's exactly where those visibilities are quite limited. We're starting to see some improvement visibility wise from Chestertown all the way up to Elkton and even out towards Bel Air. But keep an eye out for those slushy roads and very slippery sidewalks. Treat any surface that is untreated as very slippery and icy. Dealing with those icy patches this morning because our temperatures are continuing to drop. We currently have wind gusts out there anywhere from 25 to 30. That's going to be the case through the afternoon. That is helping to blow some of that snow around. So just make sure you're reducing your speed when you hit the roads this morning. It's looking pretty messy for the morning commute. We're dropping below freezing across our northern areas. That's where we saw the heaviest amount of snow so far. All of this should wrap up by the late parts of this morning, waving goodbye to that snow by midday, and then dealing with dry conditions and mostly clear skies tonight. That's going to help our temps plummet down well below freezing. We're talking lower 20s as we head into the overnight. We should be hitting 40 degrees today, but those brisk winds out there out of the northwest going to make it feel a little more like the upper 20s and the lower 30s through the afternoon. Your 7-day forecast, less breezy to Stevie Daniels. The time now is 4:44 on this Monday morning. Let's take a look at your super 7-day forecast. This morning, just make sure you're using caution on the roads. A lot of the roadways are very slushy. We have that heavy, wet snow still making its way across the area. It's starting to lighten up, especially up and down the eastern shore, which is great news. They were dealing with hours of snow yesterday, and they definitely saw more in the way of snowfall than we did here around the Baltimore area. But this is how the roads are going to be looking as you're heading out and about. Drier skies are expected as we head after lunchtime. We could even see a few breaks of sunshine here and there. We have brisk winds out of the northwest, which is going to make it feel more like the upper 20s during the day. We plummet down well below freezing into the 20s overnight, making for a very cold but a sun-filled start on your way into work. Skies are looking dry on your way home from work tomorrow. We have a high temperature of 37 degrees. Temps take a little bit of a hit before they rise back and recover into the 50s on your Wednesday. A high of 51, some drops or even some flurries are possible early in the morning. Little to no accumulation is expected. Stevie Daniels, the time now is 5 o'clock on this Monday morning. Let's look at radar right now because it looks like the most impactful snow is starting to actually pull away to our northeast. So we are dealing with a dry slot in the snow activity. It looks like that snow has diminished across central and southern Baltimore County through Anne Arundel County as well, but still dealing with a band of some snow showers falling across not only Carroll, but Frederick, even down towards Howard County and up and down the eastern shore where totals were actually a little bit greater the farther east you traveled from the Chesapeake Bay. Some areas up and down the eastern shore saw anywhere from 5 to 7 inches of snow. Portions of Delaware dealt with about a foot of snow over the past 36 hours. So this was a pretty impactful system, especially closer to the beaches. I do expect this light snow to end between the hours of 9 to 12 o'clock this afternoon. We're still dealing with low visibility out there. This is creating a very messy. Stevie Daniels, the time now is 5:08 on this Monday morning. Let's take a look at the latest impacts. We're still dealing with some of that light snow out there this morning, which is going to persist throughout about 10 to 11 o'clock. By noon, all of it should come to an end. But if you are heading out and about early this morning, be prepared to see some of that slush out there on the roadways. Prepared for some sidewalks to be a little bit slippery. We also have gusty winds, which are limiting visibilities this morning all across central Maryland, including the eastern shore. That's the reason why Kent County and Queen Anne's County, Talbot and Caroline are under blizzard warnings. Not because so much of the amount of snowfall, but really because of how strong the winds are. It's blowing around a lot of that snow, and it's reducing visibilities down to less than a half mile in certain areas that are highlighted in blue. All of Delaware is under blizzard warnings as well. We have winter storm warnings in place for northern Baltimore County and for areas farther north and east as well. But then back off towards the west, the National Weather Service is starting to cancel those winter storm warnings as of right now, which is great news. It does show that the snow showers are starting to diminish this morning. That's exactly what radar is picking up on. They're starting to wind down, even up and down the eastern shore, where we saw the most amount of snow over the past 24 to even 36 hours. And so far from the start of this event, some areas farther east of the Chesapeake Bay actually picked up anywhere from 5 to 7 inches of snow, and then totals dropped off the farther west you head. But taking a look at visibility, down to about 2 miles in Easton, 3 in Chestertown, and 4 up in Bel Air. You can blame the winds for that. They're extremely gusty out there this morning, upwards of 25 to even 30 miles per hour, getting some reports of some downed tree limbs and even power lines because of how strong the winds are. They will stay very gusty even heading into the afternoon. We're standing below freezing in many areas this morning, so this is going to be a problem with any of that lingering moisture on those untreated surfaces as temperatures continue to drop. That's going to create very slippery conditions out there, not only on the roads, but also on some bridges and overpasses. We say goodbye to that snow right around noon today, and then dealing with a few breaks of sunshine heading into the afternoon with clear skies tonight. If you have travel plans today, I would hold off until the afternoon. Make sure the snow gets out of here in time for your travels. Pretty much you should be in the clear by lunchtime today, dealing with broken clouds, a high temperature of 30 degrees. However, it is going to feel a little bit colder than that because of how brisk those winds will be, gusting to about 30 to 35 out of the northwest. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, less breezy tomorrow, but temps are going to struggle to hit 40 degrees tomorrow afternoon. That picked up about 4 to even 5 inches of snow across the state of Maryland, especially the eastern shore. Some locations picked up about 7 inches of snow the closer you head closer to the Maryland-Delaware line. But here's a look at snowfall to the eastern shore, picked up 4 inches. Just under 3 in Timonium, Crofton, and Annapolis. You guys saw about 2 inches of snow. Again, those totals likely will be needed to be adjusted because of this snow that's still continuing to linger across the area. We still have a band of some light snow that's spreading through Carroll, Howard, even out towards Frederick counties. It's looking a little bit lighter across Baltimore and Harford counties this morning, with the secondary batch traveling from Cecil all the way down through northern Talbot and Caroline counties this morning. We still have those winter storm warnings, along with that, the blizzard warnings in place for the eastern shore because visibility is so low. It's starting to improve right now as these snow showers continue to lighten up. We have those gusty winds to talk about as well. I'll break down more details for you coming up in my full forecast. Back to you. On moisture coming in on the backside of this nor'easter. So you can see it's actually starting to become occluded, meaning that the storm system is already beginning to decay. It's in that decaying stage, but it's still producing feet of snow from not only New Jersey, but all the way up towards Boston, Massachusetts, even dealing with some of that snow falling across western New York, Pennsylvania, even out towards the Ohio River Valley. So this is a very intense system impacting a good chunk of the United States. As we take a glance at radar, though, we are still picking up on some of that light snow that's skirting through central Maryland, even locations up and down the eastern shore. A band of some light snow is still sliding into Harford County this morning. I do expect an additional ½ inch of snow when things are all said and done. But pretty much all of this should wrap up over the next couple of hours. We do have visibilities gradually improving this morning. This is some very positive news. We still have those blizzard warnings from Queen Anne's County down towards Talbot and Caroline, and winter storm warnings across northeast Maryland because of how strong the winds are. When you take that into account with that snow falling from the sky, winds are gusting between 25 to 30 miles per hour. That's allowing that snow to blow and drift around, therefore greatly dropping visibility. So that's something you need to watch out for this morning, in addition to the slushiness on the roads. So unlike January storm system, this storm system brought with it a lot more moisture. So that's why we saw that wet, heavy snow, not that fluffy snow that really accumulates quickly. And because of that wet snow, that really helped keep our snowfall totals down. Temperatures right now are ranging at or below freezing, meaning that on any untreated surfaces, we're talking about very icy patches out there, not only on some roads, but also on some bridges and overpasses too. We wave goodbye to this snow. It exits Delmarva by 2 to 3 o'clock today for central Maryland. It should pretty much be out of our hair by lunchtime. And then dealing with drier skies with a few breaks of sunshine here and there getting into the afternoon, and then into the day tomorrow, starting off with ample sunshine, so clear skies. You know what that means. That is going to help us drop well below freezing as we head overnight. But we're sitting a little bit above freezing in certain areas, mostly to the south of the city. Still dealing with some light snow showers throughout the morning commute, so take it very slow on the roads. The snow pretty much wraps up by 11 to even 12 o'clock, and dealing with broken clouds throughout the afternoon. I know your furry friend is probably going to enjoy jumping in some of that snow. We got rid of that snowpack finally from January's system, but we got a whole new fresh round of snow from this system that we dealt with last night. But taking a look at your 7-day forecast, temps should be hovering near that 40-degree mark, but with those brisk northwest winds, that is going to make it feel more like the upper 20s through the afternoon. So dress warm if you're going to be heading outside. 37 degrees tomorrow. Winds will start to relax, but we get back into the 50s by the middle part of this week. If you've been missing the rain in from the north in that northerly direction, we do have a band of snow that's skirting through northern Frederick County and even extending out towards not only Carroll, but Baltimore, Hartford, Cecil County. You guys are still seeing some of those flakes, and some of this activity is also falling closer to the immediate shoreline up and down the Bay regions. We have strong gusty winds this morning, gusting between 25 to 35. So when you deal with the snow falling at this rate, we have snowfall rates right now at about a ½ inch to an inch per hour in certain areas. We also have winds of this strength right now. This is actually allowing for that snow to blow around, really dropping visibilities in a very short amount of time. So some visibility, some areas up and down the eastern shore are actually seeing less than a ½ mile, but we're starting to see some improvement as the bulk of this moisture moves away from us. We have slushy roads, slippery sidewalks, so make sure you're taking it easy on the roads this morning. This snow is going to stick around throughout about 10 to 11 o'clock before it wraps up by lunchtime. I'll have more details on what you can expect throughout the second half of your Monday coming up in my full forecast. Christy? We definitely dealt with a hefty amount of snow, mostly around our northeastern suburbs. Look at Elkton. Elkton, you guys picked up 8.5 inches of snow, and then totals started to drop the farther southwest you went. About 5.5 inches out by Chrome Hill near Jarrettsville. Bentley Springs, you guys picked up about 5 inches. 4.5 in Reisterstown. Up in Cecil County at Fair Hill, picked up 4 inches. Dayton, 4 inches for you. Watersville as well. Parole, 3.5 inches. Westminster, 3. And Timonium, just under 3. So our forecast definitely verified. But this system, while it didn't bring us as much snow as January's system, it did bring more of that wet, heavy snow that could be problematic if you're trying to shovel that out. We call it heart attack snow because it could be a little bit challenging for you to actually get that snow up. It's a little bit more dense because it's holding on to more moisture. But it is good for packing. So if any kids have a school day, or a snow day, I should say, they will definitely want to build a snowman because this is the type of snow that's really good for packing. We have radar right now picking up on those snow showers that are streaming in from the north. They are lightening up this morning. So compared to the past 10 hours, we're actually dealing with some of this snow still persisting across the area, but it is a lot less intense than it was last night. Here's a look at the latest alerts. You can see areas farther west of the Chesapeake Bay no longer under winter storm warnings. Those blizzard warnings for Queen Anne's still in place along with Caroline and Talbot, even for spots up and down Delaware until 6 p.m. this evening. I do expect them to be canceled a little bit earlier. The snow should pretty much wrap up right around noon today, and areas across northeast Maryland dealing with those winter storm warnings. Because we're dealing with limited visibilities, the farther east you travel, like Elkton, seeing less than 2 miles this morning because of that brisk wind that's blowing around a lot of that snow. It's making it very difficult to see, and this is also the reason why it's looking a little bit messy out there for your morning commute. Here's a glance at wind gusts. Right now they're clocking in at about 25 to even 35. We also have temps currently dropping this morning as we approach sunrise. So because of this, on any untreated road surfaces or overpasses, treat them as very icy. We're dealing with some icy patches out there, some of that slushiness, some slippery sidewalks. So just take it slow. If you don't have to hit the roads, I suggest staying indoors. Things wrap up by noon today, and then we have a few breaks of sunshine that we could see later this afternoon. Conditions look a lot more relaxed. Clear skies tonight will help our temps drop well below freezing. We're going to be off to a very cold start tomorrow morning. But today we're going to rise near 40 degrees, dealing with wind chill values, though, stuck in the upper 20s with that brisk wind. But winds will start to relax heading into your Tuesday. We will be back in the 50s, though. The 50s do come 7 o'clock this morning. The snow is already beginning to lighten up right now compared to how it was closer to the midnight hour. But it's still looking very slushy out there. I know the crews, the plows have definitely been done a really good job at treating the roads. On my way into work this morning on York Road, it wasn't looking bad at all. Just a little bit of slushiness out there. You might encounter some icy patches on bridges and overpasses, so be mindful of that. If you can stay home this morning, work from home, I suggest doing that. We are looking at temperatures hitting the lower 40s as we get into the afternoon, so that could help take out some of the snowpack that we dealt with this morning. But taking a glance at your Tuesday, a high temperature of 37 degrees, dealing with clear skies in the morning, so that is going to help us start off a lot colder. 25 degrees as we begin the day. It's going to be a very cold day ahead tomorrow before we're back in the 50 portions of New England. We are getting some of the snow on the back end of this system, so this light snow is continuing to stream in from the north. But look at the latest radar scans. It shows that the blue color is starting to lighten up a little bit. This shows that the snow intensity is really decreasing as this moisture travels farther and farther to the southwest. So we're pretty much done with the most impactful snow. That is over, but I would recommend staying off the roads this morning. We're still dealing with a lot of the slushy conditions on the roads right now. Along with that, some slippery portions of the sidewalks, some slippery spots out there as well. Cecil County and Kent, you guys are still under this winter storm warning. Harford County, you guys are no longer under this warning anymore, and this is in place throughout the next hour or so. But blizzard warnings still extend until 6 o'clock for areas highlighted in blue. This also extends out towards Delaware and up towards New Jersey, where totals are a little bit greater. Some spots right around Seaford in Delaware actually picked up about a foot of snow over the past 12 hours. Just so impressive. But we didn't see anything like that here around the Baltimore area. So far at the airport, we only picked up about 1.7 inches of snow. So totals really dropped the farther southwest you went. Taking a glance at wind gusts, this is really one of the big stories of the morning. This is the reason why areas along the middle and lower end of the eastern shore are under those blizzard warnings, because they're making it really difficult to see with that snow blowing around and drifting all over the place. It's creating hazardous travel conditions, but visibilities overall are starting to improve considerably from how they were earlier this morning. Temps are dipping down at or below freezing. You can see that up and down the eastern shore. So as the snow continues to make its way through the area this morning and our temperatures drop, any untreated surface treated as very icy and slick. This is really going to be problematic on any bridges or overpasses that haven't been treated yet, so just use extra caution. The snow wraps up by noon today. We'll be seeing some breaks of sunshine as we get into the afternoon. Clear skies tonight. This is going to set the stage for a pretty cold start tomorrow morning. Get ready for it. We're going to be starting off in the 20s, but this morning we're starting off in the 30s. We could touch 40 degrees by 4 o'clock today. Those snow showers wind down right around your lunch hour, and we are looking a lot drier throughout the second half of the day. But I have to put this out there because we are dealing with the snow. I know we're done with the snow. We want spring to arrive, and it arrives in just 25 days. And a little bit more of a